I watched 3 found footage films. I decided I was going to watch 3 found footage films. I have this concept where I'm going to watch 3 of a certain subgenre of horror, mostly horror at least, and I'm going to be watching 3 films from that genre or that like subject. It'll be you'll see as I make more videos. So I watched 3 films. The order I watched them was UFO Abduction. I watched this one because it's a pretty old film. I also watched Spree because I heard it's a little more disturbing, and then I watched Paranormal Activity because it's iconic. I decided not to choose the Blair Witch Project for this video because I watched it recently and I didn't want that to impact my rating. Okay, so I'm gonna go over what I thought the worst film was, and then it will slowly get better. So the worst film by decently far was UFO Abduction. So UFO Abduction is basically just about a family who experiences aliens. It's found footage. The quality is like not good at all, which I mean, for the time being, for the time it was released, kind of makes sense. And I guess it adds to the found footage vibe. I didn't care for this film like at all. It's from 1989, so it's older than the Blair Witch Project. This is a film that I respect more than I enjoy. I believe it was made on a very low budget, and for what they made out of it, I thought it was like I guess okay for the budget. I thought it was like impressive for the budget, but I just found this film like super boring. Like I was not invested. I think it was like a little over an hour long, and I was like ready for it to be over, like from like almost the beginning. The ending was all right. I recommend watching this film with captions because I had a hard time keeping up with everything that was going on. I respect this film because of its budget. I think it was a passion project. I'd have to really look into that. But yeah, you can kind of tell the budget wasn't very high. So I just didn't care for this film. I thought it was pretty boring. But I mean, you gotta give it a shot. If you like found footage, maybe you watch this. I've only seen like 4 or 5 found footage films. So that's the worst one out of this 3. The next film on this list is Paranormal Activity. And for the most part, I thought this film was just boring again. Maybe found footage isn't my thing. My sister, she seemed like she enjoyed this film, but she seemed like she was more invested in like the relationship between these 2 people. Paranormal Activity is basically just about a couple who is experiencing paranormal activity, and the boyfriend decides to record. And I thought the boyfriend was really annoying. Like, listen to your girlfriend, like at least a little bit. Like, come on, you're just making things so much worse. He annoyed me. At first I thought it was fun with the relationship, but as time went on, I'm like, come on, you really should listen to your girlfriend. I respect this film again, but I just didn't enjoy it very much. And I wish I watched it when it was darker. I think that might have changed how I felt if it was a little bit darker than it was. And I think other people's opinions on this film, from what I've heard, may have impacted my review a little bit, but I try to stay optimistic when I'm watching these films. Okay. But number 1 for me was Spree. It was definitely disturbing. So Spree is basically about this dude who he's part of a service kind of like Uber, where he picks people up, but he starts live streaming it and he wants to get a lot of views, and he will do anything to get those views. And I thought for the most part this film was pretty disturbing. The comments start showing up, I think that's almost the most disturbing part. This horrific stuff is happening, but people are just playing it as a joke. And I feel like that's honestly kind of realistic. I feel like people don't take serious situations very seriously. And I thought that was a very disturbing and interesting idea. This one was very chaotic. There's so many parts where I'm watching and I'm like, oh, what's going on? It's a little confusing, but for the most part, it was pretty good. I thought basically all the characters in this film were unlikable. Like the main lady, I think the actor's a comedian. I don't know for sure. So I don't know if this is how her kind of comedy, but it was just not funny to me like at all. And she just wasn't a very likable character in the film to me. I think for the most part, this film was alright. But yeah, it's kind of crazy what people do for fame sometimes. So overall, the worst film was UFO Abduction, which I gave 1.5 stars. The second worst film was Paranormal Activity, which I gave 2.5 stars. And the best film was Spree, which I gave 3 stars. I'm hoping to watch another one of these found footage films again in probably a few months, make another video on this. But so far, my opinions on found footage aren't that great. I think it can be successful, and I think it can be really interesting. But the films I watched, I just didn't find myself very invested. So I'd like to see how other films do this found footage style that maybe I'll enjoy more. So I hope I can find a found footage film that I really like. So these are my opinions on the found footage films I watched. I would love to know your guys' opinions on these films. This is the first of a, I guess, series you could say of me watching three types of insert what horror films. So I got a few other ideas that I'll be releasing probably in a few weeks. I'll see you. Hope you have a good new year.